the man who changed the narrative of filmmaking. He is a system builder, someone who designs rules, bends time, and forces audiences to think inside his worlds. And the most interesting part? He didn't come from Hollywood at all. Christopher Edward Nolan was born on July 30th, 1970, in London. His father worked in advertising, his mother was a flight attendant, and because of that, Nolan grew up moving between England and the United States. This constant back and forth would later shape his identity: British in discipline, American in ambition. From a very young age, Nolan was obsessed with filmmaking. At just 7 years old, he began making short films using his father's Super 8 camera, filming toys, stop-motion experiments, and miniature action scenes. But unlike most child filmmakers, Nolan wasn't dreaming of fame. He was fascinated by structure, how stories could be rearranged, broken apart, and still make sense. When Nolan entered university, he chose English literature at University College London, not film school. This choice mattered. Instead of being trained in Hollywood rules, Nolan studied narrative theory, classical storytelling, unreliable narrators, time shifts in literature. At the same time, UCL's Film Society allowed students to use professional cameras, which meant Nolan could learn by doing, not by imitation. This is also where he met Emma Thomas, who would later become his producer, collaborator, and wife. They would build everything together. After graduating, Nolan didn't immediately succeed. He worked small jobs, shot short films on tiny budgets, learned editing, cinematography, and sound design himself. In 1998, he made his first feature film, Following. It was shot on weekends, with friends as actors, using natural light and almost no money. But the film already showed Nolan's signature: non-linear storytelling, fragmented timelines, obsession with perception and identity. Hollywood noticed. Then came Memento. Released in 2000, Memento changed Nolan's life and modern cinema. The story was told backwards, forcing the audience to experience memory loss alongside the protagonist. It wasn't a gimmick, it was philosophy through structure. Memento proved Nolan wasn't just clever, he was precise. Studios now trusted him with larger projects. In 2002, Nolan directed Insomnia, a psychological thriller starring Al Pacino. This was his test. Could he work with major actors? Could he handle studio pressure? He passed. And that opened the door to something massive. In 2005, Nolan was chosen to reboot Batman. At the time, superhero films were colorful, exaggerated, and unrealistic. Nolan did the opposite. With Batman Begins, he grounded the character in realism: fear as psychology, crime as a system, heroism as sacrifice. Then came The Dark Knight in 2008. This wasn't just a superhero film. It was a crime epic, a moral experiment, and a cultural moment. Heath Ledger's Joker became legendary, but Nolan's direction turned chaos into a narrative weapon. The Dark Knight changed how blockbusters were made. Instead of staying safe, Nolan escalated. In 2010, he released Inception, a film about dreams inside dreams, time dilation, and the architecture of the mind. Studios warned it was too complex. Audiences proved them wrong. Inception showed that intelligent cinema could still be mainstream. It also cemented Nolan's obsession with time as a storytelling device, layered narratives, practical effects over digital shortcuts. Then came Interstellar. Released in 2014, it combined theoretical physics, emotional storytelling, cosmic scale. Nolan worked closely with physicist Kip Thorne to ensure scientific accuracy. But at its core, Interstellar wasn't about space. It was about time, separating loved ones, sacrifice humanity's survival. The film divided critics, but grew into one of the most emotionally resonant sci-fi films ever made. In 2017, Nolan made Dunkirk. No traditional protagonist, minimal dialogue, 3 timelines moving at different speeds. It was war cinema as pure experience. Sound, time, and tension became the narrative itself. Then came Tenet in 2020, perhaps Nolan's most divisive film. Reverse entropy, inverted time, minimal exposition. Tenet was not designed to be understood easily. It demanded attention and punished distraction. Some loved it, some rejected it, but it confirmed one thing: Nolan refuses to simplify. In 2023, Nolan released Oppenheimer, a 3-hour biographical film about the man behind the atomic bomb. Shot partly in IMAX, heavy on dialogue, morally complex, and it became a global success. Oppenheimer proved that dialogue-driven films can dominate, Biography can feel like a thriller. So what defines Christopher Nolan? He avoids CGI when possible. He shoots on film. He hates excessive exposition. He trusts the audience. Nolan believes cinema should challenge,